Hey, what's up? My name's Ian. Welcome to the FX3 review for B Camera. I took this camera out for a couple days to shoot some things in a couple different scenarios, mostly outside, natural light, and kind of just trying to test its versatility as a run and gun camera. I know this is a cinema camera and it's marketed as a cinema camera. To me, it feels like more of a run and gun, autofocus, kind of just day camera. There's tons and tons of versatility for it. This can also be mounted in multiple different ways, and because it's on the same sensor as like the FX9, it also matches very well, like incredibly well. I mean, I guess exactly. It matches exactly. It's the same sensor. It matches really well to the FX9. So what a lot of people use this camera for is building it up on smaller rigs, like a helmet rig or a weird leg rig or some weird thing that people are gonna use to set up. I don't know, it's like probably a good snorri cam camera as well. How I got to test out the FX3 was just as a run and gun camera. I took it on a day trip to Hamilton to film some BMX friends of mine, and I had a really good time with this camera. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was incredibly freeing. Having such a small body and such a like compact form, and then fun to use just based on the fact that I'm used to shooting on a Blackmagic, either 4K, 6K, or so, whatever. I had never really shot on Sony. I took this camera out to Hamilton and I loved it. Just like kind of rolling around. I'm used to the Blackmagic Pocket, which doesn't have barely any autofocus. I mean, it doesn't really have autofocus. On that note, I don't really see this as like a cinema camera. I know you can put XLR audio into it, and I know that you can record all the different codecs in it, and you could use it as a cinema camera. But to me, it just doesn't feel like incredibly practical to like show up on set to like film a movie with something like this. But there's also limitations to that as well. One of those being it's HDMI out as opposed to SDI out, which is like not really industry standards. Maybe wireless video might be an issue. You know, even something this small, like for the price point and what they have to do with it is just like, you're always gonna need some sort of additive function. Like this, like obviously the display is not the best, you know, because it's just so small, right? It does the trick and you can totally like monitor off of it if you wanted to. It works, it functions, but ideally you'd have something a little bit bigger and you'd have a better display with it. I don't know what I don't really like about this camera. I think it had a lot of positives. I did feel like having a smaller camera just makes you more free, you know, to shoot what you want to, when you want to. I did feel like, you know, having my Blackmagic rigged up all the time, or just like, it's really the battery thing, I guess, at the end of the day. Like having this and not having to have a V-mount on it. And, I couldn't really find a lot of negatives. I mean, you know, size, form factor, those are all like small issues. I think really like the menu system is kind of like where it lacks. It's like it's deeper in there than it needs to be. I felt like comparative to like a menu system like Blackmagic, which is like very, very simple and user-friendly, and like everything is just like right at your fingertips. I felt like this felt more like a DSLR menu system where there's a couple sub-menus before you get to what you want. But that's just me, and it could just be that I'm new to this menu and I need time getting used to it. I will hopefully use this camera for a little bit longer and give you a better review, more in depth, maybe after a month or so, and then we can kind of go from there. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your time.